And so OJ expired. My bad.
What's good, people? I hope you all are doing well. O.J. Simpson's death hit the media a few hours ago, and this news has sparked so many interesting conversation. This is the man, if you don't know who O.J. Simpson is, this is the man with the trial of the century. I think it went on for like 11 months. You can check on the series on the heinous things that O.J. Simpson did. He was known as a footballer and other things, but one of the things that people know about him that is the cause and why people are reacting to his death this way is the unaliving of his wife and his wife's friend. Even though the court said he's not guilty, a lot of people believe that he is responsible for the death of his wife and as well his wife's friend. He passed after battling cancer. The news hit the media back in February that he was in hospice. He did a video saying hospice where I don't know if you guys have video, but you will see it at the beginning of the stage. This man's death has sparked a lot of conversation. Like if you are into crime shows and documentary, I'm sure you have come across his case. So when you heard the news that he passed, what was your first reaction? Without wasting much time, let's get right into what people are saying that O.J. Simpson is dead.
Hospice? Hospice? You talking about hospice?
That is one Orenthal James Simpson back in February of this year denying rumors that he was in hospice care. We now know that he was battling cancer, a battle that he lost according to his family yesterday. And 76-year-old O.J. Simpson has passed away. But now he can rest easy. He no longer has to be stressed out about possibly running into the real killer, because that's something he was worried about. Before you come crawling in the comments with some sort of, oh, he was acquitted, this seems disrespectful. It was Voltaire who once said, show respect to the living, to the dead we owe nothing but the truth. And also, yeah, he was acquitted. I know that. I also know there are no famous millionaires on death row. And that doesn't mean there's no famous millionaires who killed someone. But even if you think he didn't kill her, he wrote a book about how he would have killed her if he did kill her. He profited off of that, which is fucking gross. So, good riddance.
So when it comes to O.J. Simpson, I've kind of had this policy running my entire life where if I'm around black people, then yeah, O.J. did it. In fact, it's crazy that he did it and got away with it. He's the only black man that the justice system has ever let slip through like that. Sorry, he's not black. He's O.J. But around white people, I never give a clear answer as to how I feel about O.J. Simpson. And that has been particularly because letting white people freely speak about how they feel about O.J. Simpson is an incredible racism litmus test. And it doesn't have to do with whether or not you think that O.J. is innocent or guilty or anything like that. But there's a very specific flavor of rage, a flavor of rage and hatred that your mother and your grandmother talked to you about, like Quaaludes. Like they discontinued that brand of racism in the 70s, that when white people talk about O.J. Simpson, they go, that fucking monkey running around. Like it's like, what he did was heinous and terrible and awful. But people are way more livid about O.J. Simpson than they are Jeffrey Dahmer. And I can't explain this. It's hard to explain because it's heinous, right? What O.J. did was downright evil. But there's a level that you guys, that's hard to understand, which is that famously, right, they were considering casting O.J. Simpson in The Terminator, but everybody considered O.J. too nice a guy to play a villain. Before the trial, O.J. Simpson was on Wheaties boxes. He was in the Naked Gun comedy series as comic relief. The dude was considered too kind to hurt a fly. He was America's darling. And he famously said, I'm not black, I'm O.J. And they let him in. And that motherfucker murdered a white woman and betrayed their trust in such a way that whenever white people talk about them, their ancestor who was in front of that fucking school yelling about integration comes out. Unironically, people will look at you in the face and be like, they just let him get away with it because he's black and the race. And I'm like, whoa, what are you? Wow! I can't explain it. Not everyone, obviously. So but it's a litmus test, right? It's a litmus test. I'm not saying that everyone who doesn't like OJ is racist. I'm just saying that there are people who you'll talk to, and they're like, "What do you think about OJ?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man." And they'll be like, "Yeah, I think he killed it. Like, it's crazy. He got like the glove didn't fit." And you're like, "Yeah, that is what I think happened." And sometimes you're just like, "What do you think about OJ?" And you're like, "I don't know, man." And they go, "That fucking motherfucker. He goddamn. Do you know they only let him now? He's running around." I was like, "Whoa." Whoa, buddy. Whoa.
R.I.P. to the late, great O.J. Simpson, but only one of ones know he the reason black people be saying free niggas even though they guilty just because. O.J. was the glove before Gary Payton. For y'all that don't know, they aired O.J. getting pursued by the police in the middle of the 1994 NBA Finals. So while some basketball players was getting chased down blocks, O.J. was getting chased down blocks. They thought because he was an NFL running back, he killed 2 people in a home and started running out the back. If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit was more than just the sentence that gave O.J. his freedom. I bought a Magnum XL. Shit was too baggy. Shorty said, if the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. See, I rock with OJ because we have something in common, and it's that we both play too much. Because why when everyone thinks you a murderer, you will go and do some shit like this?
Finished filming, OJ said to me that he had a surprise for me.
But see, I play too much. If I was him, I would have had in my will a confession saying I actually did the murders and that y'all sold and couldn't get me on some aha, I'm dead and don't give a fuck what people think type shit just to cause an uproar for the world being on his dick for too long.
O.J. Simpson died today, and to survivors of domestic violence out there, if you're feeling triggered by the tributes and accolades and flowers people are giving this man, that is okay. As a child who lived through domestic violence, as a teacher who had to report domestic violence, as a therapist who gives therapy to people who survived domestic violence, I need to tell you this. We do not owe anyone out there our empathy. I'm sure it's probably very difficult to see like family and loved ones right now pay tribute to this man and say, well, you know, he still had a family though, like show him some empathy or whatever. We don't owe him that, babes. There is grief in seeing people around you kind of ignore the experiences you went through to pay tribute to a man who, 2 people, one of them being his wife. The man was not a good person. Okay, he literally got away with murder and then wrote a book saying, well, if I did it, I would have done it this way. Some people might say he's a piece of shit. You're looking around seeing other people give this man empathy, right? And you're giving yourself the mental Olympics, trying to be like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do that? It's because you don't have to, babes. You're grieving, and that's okay. And there's no guilt in grief, so don't feel guilty that you can't muster up the empathy for a literal monster. I see you, I hear you, you don't have to fake it today.
So O.J. Simpson has died, and I feel some type of way about it because I know he did it. I know he unalived his wife. O.J. reminds me so much of my father, football players, Heisman Trophy, but both so charming and beloved by the public. And I'm always saying that my mom and dad are the O.J. and Nicole that didn't happen by this much. O.J. actually tried to recruit my dad to go to USC. My dad did not go to USC. He winded up going to Georgia, but they always had that sort of relationship. And then my mom always tells the story about how her and my dad had to come to LA for an event one time, and she went to the bathroom and she was washing her hands in the sink, and Nicole was right by her, and they like talked for a second. And like, what a moment, because they were married to basically the same man. And when they walked out of that bathroom, Nicole winded up divorcing him and then lost her life. My mom divorced my dad and barely made it out alive with her life. O.J. really is a masterclass in how abusers function. They're charming, they're lovable, they schmooze you, they wrap you into their web, and once they've got you, they're endlessly evil, and the damage that they do is unending. Men like this are destroyers, and they pass their wounds and their trauma onto the next generation, their children, and then it's on us to break the cycle. And I'm honestly so grateful to God that he gave me the strength to be able to do that. I've spent years thinking about O.J.'s kids and praying for them because unlike them, I made it out of my situation and I survived my situation with my mom intact, and I can't imagine what they've had to survive, not even having their mom around to comfort them for everything that they went through. So today, I'm praying for them.
Man, so OJ expired. My bad. I know a lot of people are either happy or sad, however you may feel about it. I know I'm not the only one that's slightly curious, just a little bit curious. He's got a cold chill. Did he take the truth to the grave? You know the truth I'm talking about, right? He knew he was out the door. He was on the way out the door. He was about to be dead as hell. Did he pull anyone close like, hey, before I go, confession. Somebody has to know. It was kind of homicidal in here. Nah, I must be tripping. It's one of the celebrity deaths that I don't really care too much about. Like when Michael Jackson died, I was distraught. What is that? Kobe died. I was out of here. You couldn't talk to me. Nipsey Hussle was gone. Waterworks. But OJ? I don't know about OJ. Is that a Ford Bronco? Like, what do y'all think? Y'all think he confessed? Like, why wouldn't he? What they gonna do to him? He gone. Just tell the truth, bro. You wrote a book. You was already halfway there. Just tell the truth. Why do I feel murder in the room? Oh shit, the juice is loose. How the hell you get out the fridge? How you get these gloves? What are you doing? These obviously don't fit you, bro. Where'd you get these from? Doesn't work. It doesn't work out. Like, how could these fit? No wonder. You brought these? This was stupid. This was very stupid.
This news is indeed the biggest news yet. People are even taking the interview to the streets to ask people on the street what they think about the death of O.J. Simpson. And I have never seen a parody about someone's death this much in my entire life. There are people even saying rest in peace, like P-I-S-S. I don't even think I can see this much sarcastic comments about someone's death in my life. Like the comment sections, the videos I've been seeing on TikTok, the tweets about this death is really, really crazy. And making a book saying I did not kill my wife, but if I did, this is how I would do it. Is the craziest of it all. I saw a comment of someone saying OJ will literally tell the devil to take the back seat while he sits at the front with the things that he did. He even said he might probably run into the person that killed his wife. A lot of people are not only believing, but they are fact right that this man killed his wife and his wife's friend. That is a very sensitive thing. These people have family and their family who are grieving. But just like one of the stitches said, you do not owe anybody your sympathy when you know this person has been a very bad person. A lot of people are speaking on how O.J. Simpson is a very bad person and you do not owe him the empathy. This comment said, OJ cannot rest easy knowing if his wife's killer is dead. You know, is the one. Like the sarcastic comment, you guys can't bring this all to you people. If you have the time, just go on TikTok or even on Twitter and go see for yourself what the people are saying about the death of OJ. Another person said, the wildest thing about the trial is that if it happened just a couple of years later, that the DNA evidence alone will have got him a guilty verdict. Like, another person said, I watched a documentary about the trial, and a jury member said the emotional fallout from Rodney King's trial was a motivating factor in the not guilty verdict. There's so many parody about his death going viral on TikTok right now. Let me hear what you guys think about this news. What was your first reaction when you got the news that O.J. Simpson is dead? And I hope the victim of this man are able to find peace, because the crime he committed is one of the most heinous things that someone would do to a human being. Like, being the trial of the century says so much about what he did. If you have not watched the documentary, please, I would advise you go watch it. It's not a nice documentary, but if you are wondering why some people are celebrating someone's death, you are going to get the full context about why people are reacting this way and why there are so many parody about his death online. Let me hear what you think in the comment section and let's continue this conversation there. What was that part in the documentary for you that made you sit down and think about how evil and how dark the mind of this man was? And some of the things that he has even said in some interviews as well. Let's continue this conversation and I will see you guys in the next one.